X.
I did. I saw it just pop right up. Live on X.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Same.
Oh, there we are. There we are. Business Brain.
Woohoo.
Boom. I like that one. I'm going to like yours. I'm going to make a comment. Let's go. Let's go. All right. And then where's mine? Oh, yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Here we are.
Here we are.
No matter where we go, here we are.
Early adopters are jumping into the live stream right now. I love it. Okay, so that was me. I thought it was a mute.
That's
I thought I was pressing the mute. I didn't know that. It's like, so when I want to make I'm going to say,
sorry,
Dave, dang it. I'm going to make a big, like a statement. I'm going
That's
to
right.
hit that button. You really need to make a lot of money.
And if you're on the other, it will only take the one on the top left or the left if there's no top. Oh,
no,
how did you do that,
Dave?
Wait, how did you do that?
I clicked the solo layout button on my thing.
Oh, yes.
I can do you too.
Yes,
See?
yes.
Wow.
What you can't do is like this. Oh, no.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Whichever one it is.
Yeah, I don't know where those are. I don't have those buttons.
Freaking know. Yeah, you do. They're the
I
buttons,
do right there. I see.
They're the buttons in the middle. Right. That one only works with the person on the top left. So if I want to do it for you, what I have to do is like, I got to drag it and then like, oh yeah. So what do you think, Shannon? And then boom, right? You drag it from the thing. And like, if I want to take myself from here and make it big,
you can just drag it.
I grab it and hover it over you. And then at the same time as I release, I do this. Oh, I did it wrong, but because I hit the wrong button. But yeah. So yeah, you can drag us in the window back and forth.
Oh, that's cool, dude. I feel very, very powerful.
Yeah.
It's a big day.
It's a big day.
And I realized I had that sound issue with my mic last week, but I realized today it's not my mic. It's my my monitors, my ear monitors. So I've got to swap a pair out. Oh. So it's on the jack.
It's on the the
little jack. Because I put my new other backup mic on there, and I was like, wait, it's even worse. It's even worse. So now, but it's okay. It's good. Anyhow, I'm ready to record. Thanks for joining us on the live stream. We're going to record a couple episodes of Business Brain, and we're happy here. Do you want to put our names back up on the thing? Does it matter?
Well, the names come up when the banner goes away.
Got you. Great.
So, and I think there's a way to have our names on there while the banner's up, but
they must know who we are. Correct? Come on.
Well, it has our name at the bottom.
It does. I see that right there.
So when I turn it off, then it puts it up here. See?
It's better to leave it. Yeah. See? That's why I'm not in charge of the buttons and the knobs.
You can be. I don't.
No, I don't want to be.
For Mac Geek Gab, I don't do any of the video production.
You don't? Wow.
No, Pete's on that because there's a lot to do with that show. Like there's a lot. It's a lot of moving parts. When I have a guest on, which is rare, but when I have a guest on that show that is also a listener, and they see, like, I give them the Google Doc that you certainly could look at, but you don't. And that's okay. That's not a slight or anything. But that's But like for Mac Geek Gab, every one of the hosts, including a guest, has to see that document because we're constantly moving agenda items around, and we might have 15 or 20 different agenda items. And I'm constantly based on
because you're talking about products and all these different tips.
Well, it's Q&A, right?
Yeah,
so
Q&A.
We're going quick. And I'm moving things around like, all right, we just talked about this. You know what? It'd be great to pull this one up. So I bring it up and everybody knows, now it's time for the ad. We went longer than we thought with this.
That's awesome.
And after people see that, they're like, I had no idea how much you were doing behind the scenes. And it's like, I don't even think about it anymore. So,
No, that's great.
Like, this show is so much easier for me because we have, 3 topics maximum per any episode. Like,
that's right. It's good.
And
I love it.
and rarely do we change order. And if we do, it's a conversation that you folks don't see. So, it's all that.
No, that's very cool.
All right.
I'm going to make my Slack as long as or as tiny as I can so I can read this later. Okay, great. I'm ready.
Yeah, same. I'm just making sure I'm getting it right. 60, 50,
you got it.
58,
You got the ad? Do you want to test the ad thing?
That's the thing. No, here's the... yes, I do want to test the ad thing, but I also need to change this. I'm like, something's not right and it's because Wednesday is the 18th, not the 17th.
Do I have it right on my thing too? No, no, I do not. Why did I do that?
I told you.
Yeah, 20th. And Friday's the 20th, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. 656, 657.
Nope. We did 656 and 657 last week.
658, 659 is what I meant to say.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm ready, I promise.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Yes.
Okay. I have all this right. Okay, great. Okay. Woo! Here goes all of it. Oh, I should test the ads because the one time I don't.
Yes.
Because, well, have you ever been online? Great. Perfect. Shopify
and
first, then Eversight.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is we're going to get to the Eversight thing is going to end sort of abruptly because I don't have a button for it. And a button meaning like an ending for it.
Yes.
That's what I meant. Yes.
Got it.
And it'll end and I'll say, Shannon, you've actually used Eversight, right?
Okay.
And then you can do your thing. And I'll say, great, visit eversight.com/BB and, get started today. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Perfect. All right. Here goes absolutely nothing. Business Brain, episode 658 for Wednesday, June 18th, International Panic Day and also International Picnic Day. Coincidence? You decide. 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take some ideas and we crunch them together so that we can each be tuning our business brains every single time we get together. Our sponsors include longtime sponsor, Shopify.com/businessbrain, where you can sign up for your $1 per month trial period, and new sponsor, Eversight.com/BB, where you can sign up for this whole webmaster team that will take care of your website for you. We'll talk more about this in depth in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And I'm Shannon Jean. Is it at Tahoe or in Tahoe? When you say I'm in New
you're
Hampshire.
in Tahoe.
I'm in
New Hampshire.
I'm in Tahoe. Yeah. So I'm in Lake Tahoe, up at our place and enjoying a few days up here. The
part where in gets grammatically correct but sounds weird is because you're not just in Tahoe, you are in Lake Tahoe. And if I remember correctly, the towns there, some of them are like South Lake Tahoe, California.
Correct.
So you could say I'm in South Lake Tahoe. It sounds like you might be saying you're swimming in the lake, but you're not. Yes. You're just in the town of South Lake Tahoe or whatever town you happen to be in. I'm just making up.
Yeah,
I know
South
that's
Tahoe.
a town.
That's exactly where I'm.
Okay, there you go.
Perfect.
So
perfect.
when I think that's why a lot of people say we're up at Tahoe.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like we brand this house because we
of course out, you do.
I guess, and it's Elkview at Tahoe.
Yeah,
as what we call it. So I'm always like, it's kind of weird. Anyway,
no, I think that. Yeah, because when I go up and visit Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire, I would say we're up. Yes, it is a great name. Yes. Baby steps to Winnipesaukee. We from What About Bob? Yep. We would say we're at Winnipesaukee, so we're at the lake, and it's because we're at the lake. We're not in the lake.
Yeah, that makes got it.
That's where this comes from. Yes, perfect. You're grammatical. You're weekly. You don't.
We're solving more problems, adding additional value than standard entrepreneur fare. So.
Speaking of value, we received a 5-star review from Jeremy Lubke at businessbrain.com/review. Jeremy says, 5 stars, just the facts, ma'am. I'm pretty picky about who I let into my podcast rotation, and every time I go to full, the Business Brain boys make the cut. No nonsense, to the point, and thought-provoking. Thank you for that, Jeremy. That's great. We have a bunch of reviews here.
BBB, Business Brain Boys.
Business Brain Boys, that's us.
That's the BBB you want to deal with.
That's the only BBB you want to deal with. That's correct.
I feel a new logo in our future.
Yeah, we got one from someone whose handle is I've Got the Touch. Well, don't you? 4 stars. Okay. A different perspective is the title. I wish I had a business to apply all their ideas to maybe someday. Still, I think about the 2 tokens concept a bunch. And I try to implement it and share it with my kids, but these two are far better at explaining it than I am. Play the episode for your kids and then come back and give us that 5th star.
Extra star.
That's right. You can go back and update your Apple Podcast review and bump the stars up. I know this from experience. So that's great. That's the second review. And then I got a third one if we have a moment, Shannon.
Yeah, do it, man.
Yeah. Listener Dave, I swear it's not me. Left this on Good Pods. The other two were Apple Podcasts.
Oh, okay.
5 out of 5 podcast. Come train your business brain with this thought-provoking podcast from Shannon and Dave. Get ahead of the impending AI-driven future with the Fried AI episodes. They quickly become a must-listen highlight of the week. Dave, you have a great name and an even better perspective on life. I love this. It's great.
And if you sent those reviews, make sure you let us know. Feedback@businessbrain.show so we can enter you to win a MacBook that we're giving away, right? The odds are ever in your favor. So definitely would do that. Speaking of reviews, Dave, I have this tip that I'd like to share about reviews. If we have an extra minute or so.
Yes, of course.
Okay, great. So everybody wants reviews, testimonials, all this stuff. But oftentimes what happens now, if people are searching and they see it on Google or whatever, Yelp, that's great. But when they're on your website, most people have their testimonials or reviews kind of buried. And so what I always recommend to my clients that they do is take screenshots of those reviews and mix them in with your product photos. So when people, or if you're selling products, but if you're selling service and you have pictures of houses or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Mix them in with the way you normally use images on your site. You should have screenshots of those testimonials and reviews mixed in throughout your site. So as people are just clicking through to look at things, they're hit with that good feedback that you're getting without having to search for it.
That's brilliant. I love that.
And especially if you only have a few reviews, if you're just getting started, it's way more impactful to have a couple of them scattered around on things. And I do it on my social media. So you can do it anywhere that people are going to be looking. It could be in a blog post. You could have it. If you have a newsletter, take a screenshot and just have it in there. It's like, hey, listener Dave, thanks for this, the thing today.
Yeah.
Use that content and save it. Get it off of the review sites. Grab it from Google My Business. Grab it from Yelp. Save all those screenshots and use them in every place you can possibly imagine. Instagram, Facebook, wherever. Share that great data. Don't just leave it, and you take control of it. Don't just leave it for the review people to be in charge of when it's shown.
I love this. And I would say, if there is a spot where reviews matter most for you, so it might be Yelp, it might be Trustpilot, like whatever it is, link your review image when people click on it, have it open a new window. Don't replace the window. Right. New tab, new window, whatever. Target equals _blank if you're an HTML person. But when they click on that review, have it bring them directly to, like for us, it would be businessbrain.show/review. Wherever you can send people, wherever you want to send people to leave their own review of your site or service or podcast or whatever it is.
That's great. Really works. Love it.
Love this. Oh, that is great stuff. Okay. Man, you're blowing my mind with this stuff, Shannon. I love it. I want to take a minute next and talk about our two sponsors. Because, have you ever been online shopping late at night, tea in hand, mint or throat coat naturally, ready to impulse buy your way into happiness, and then boom, the dreaded realization your wallet is not within reach. But then, like a purple beacon from the heavens, you see it, that glorious Shop Pay button. No wallet needed, no second guessing, just tap, pay, done. That magical purple button, that's our sponsor, Shopify. And it doesn't just make buying easy, it makes selling a dream. I use Shopify to sell merch for one of my other podcasts and businesses because it's just flawless. Templates that actually look good, marketing tools that work, and analytics that make you feel like a wizard of commerce. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. and probably 99% of my productivity when it comes to online sales. Candidly, if Shopify were a person, I'd invite them to Thanksgiving and give them the seat at the head of the table. So if you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/businessbrain. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/businessbrain. Again, shopify.com/businessbrain. And our thanks to Shopify for sponsoring this episode. And now let's talk about websites, because having a great one isn't optional anymore. It's like showing up to a pitch meeting wearing pants, basic, expected, and crucial to being taken seriously. And that's where Eversight comes in. For just $3.99 a month, you get what feels like your own in-house web team without the soul-crushing upfront bill that usually comes with building a website. No $10,000 invoices, no "we'll get back to you next week" delays, just real humans answering emails and texts the same day, making your website work while you build your business. Need a fix? Boom, done. Want something updated? Already handled. They proactively manage hundreds of sites, so you don't have to live in WordPress purgatory praying your plugins don't rebel. And there are no long-term contracts, just solid, grown-up service that you can walk away from anytime, though you probably won't want to. So if you're ready to outsource the headaches and focus on living your charmed life, visit eversight.com/BB and see what real support looks like. Now, Shannon, you are actually an Eversight customer, right?
I am. Yeah, man. I'm not just a customer. Like, what happened? My old site got hacked, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I couldn't fix it. And I basically shot a flare up to Eversight, help. And within hours, they had a splash page up to stop and handled a bunch of redirects for me, that pages I had set up that were, subscription stuff. And then I said, great, now let's build. So all that stuff was up while they were building my new site.
Amazing.
And it was just simple and easy. And, their team is amazing. They made my life so much better. I really appreciate what they do for me.
That's great. Well, folks, you can get signed up today. Like I said, eversight.com/BB. And our thanks to Eversight for sponsoring this episode. What's next, Shannon?
It's cool. All right. I have this thesis that I want to hear you pick apart or tell me I'm right. Okay.
Sure.
Just tell me I'm right. It doesn't matter.
You're correct. Thanks for listening, folks. Everything's
Thanks, folks.
good.
See you later. Yeah. Anyway, a lot of my clients, we're all in a hurry. We want to get things done. My thesis is that at certain parts of the entrepreneurship cycle, you need patience more than money.
Oh, okay? Yeah, okay.
And what I mean by that is whether you're learning something new or you need to experiment and focus on, if you're like reselling, which is kind of my world, you need to be more focused on like the process and the how and the just getting your investment back while you get in the rhythm and put the reps in. Not so focused on profits, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to lose money, but you often just have to take a step back. And let me tell you, I'm finding that it's tough to get people to do this and to get explain the value of it to them so it resonates.
I mean, this is, I agree with you. So, yes.
There we go.
It reminds me of what we were talking about a week ago, right? My thesis of acting like I need time more than I need money, right? And this is, you need patience more than you need money. And my whole thing was actually about impatience fueling your success. I mean, essentially, that's, that was it last week, whereas this is, you need patience. And both of these things, of course, are true at the same time, because those times when you actually need money more than you need your time back, you have to act like you don't need the money.
Yeah. It's the same with this. Yeah.
And it's the same with this. That's where I was going with it is you just need, and the trick, of course, is sometimes you really do need the cash flow, right?
Of course.
And I think when you're starting a business, the most, and perhaps even, on a regular basis with your business, you need to sit down and look at what you need to take out of the business cash-wise, and that could be 0 or it could be 100% of what you need to cover your monthly nut, like personally and all that. But figuring out what that number is so that you can realistically work the business and how long do I have to actually be patient. Those numbers are really important.
Yeah. And it's not that I want to clarify, I don't mean that you have to like slow down and let kind of outside forces work on. No. You still have to be like grinding and taking action every day. But that stuff takes time. But the foundation of what you're building, don't bypass that at the expense of, or I just need to make more profits, so I'm not going to put all this in.
Yeah.
The time you need, because that foundation is crucial if you're going to build a long-term evergreen revenue stream, I'd like to call it. You have to have a good, strong base, so it's not so chaotic, and you're not just chasing. In my case, since it's reselling, you're not just chasing products and deals, and it's just got to keep going. No, you build this really strong system or foundation. You're patient while you build that. And then you start making money. You'll make more money in the long run because you paid more attention in the short term to all these important steps.
I love this. This is it's got a lot of thoughts kind of swimming around in my head. One is we're not going to do this today because I would want to spend more time on it. But the difference in prioritizing cash flow versus profitability.
Oh, that's a huge topic.
I know we've covered it a couple times. It's on the list. Yeah. I just put it on. Yeah. But this idea where you need to know how patient you can be.
Correct. You got to survive.
You got to survive.
To make money.
Correct.
And to your point, Dave, it comes also, especially in the beginning. I'm talking about like you're either starting a brand new thing or maybe you're pivoting in your business and starting something else. But along the line, you want to keep your expenses as low as you can. It gives you more flexibility. I want you to lead a great life. I want you to make a ton of money. But if you keep your overhead lower, it allows you to maneuver more because you're just not like, I have to make 25 grand this month to pay XYZ. It's like, well, let's try to bring that down to a reasonable amount. Right?
Yeah, bring it down. Yeah. And man, I like there's like I said, there's a lot of things swirling, but that whole idea of keeping your personal expenses, your personal monthly nut as low as you can too, is part of that flexibility you're talking about. It's the same thing. It's not just the business that needs money. It's, you and the business are intertwined, and your partners and the business and you are intertwined. With one of my businesses, the one that we didn't just sell, we had been holding off on doing a lot of things with it that we were going to do right after we sold with our new partners and all of this stuff. And obviously that didn't happen. So it was like, okay, great. Well, we have all these things ready to roll out. Now we can do it. How quickly do we want to do this?
Yeah.
And what do we let's think about our cash flow here, because we might want to reallocate some of that to a marketing budget to to kind of push some of these other things once we get them rolled out, to push them out. And so what my two partners and I did was we created a spreadsheet and that we share and put all of our personal expenses in it. Like, how much do each of us need to take out of the business?
Boy, that's
and there was
trusting.
Yes.
That's a lot. It gives me goosebumps. But I see the value in that if you really have this great trusting relationship. Yes. Because you're putting yourself out there. And you're like, Dave, why are you spending $3,000 a month at the manicure pedicure place? You know what I mean?
Don't judge me.
So I mean,
but really, like that, it was
good for you.
One of those things where we each kind of sort of waded into these waters with okay, let me put how about my, house payment or whatever,
the basic stuff, right?
Let's put that. But then it was like, all right, is that the number? And it's like, no.
No.
And then as we each sort of put things that were more revealing, that made us feel more naked in there, it got way easier because it was like, oh, yeah, we're all tied together in this thing. So let's just, it's fine.
That's great.
We're not,
and you should
there was
know
no judgment.
Yeah. And I would imagine you know each other enough to know that, like, Bob's not driving a Ferrari or whatever. But the challenge is like, even on your mortgage or, your house payment and stuff is like, one guy lives in California and another person lives in Texas or whatever. Yep. I mean, it's just so many variables.
Yes.
But it's the reality.
And that was it, is we just needed the reality of it really so that we could make decisions while respecting it. Candidly, it makes it, from my perspective, it makes it way easier for me to be more empathetic in a sense. Because if I don't know what your monthly expenses are, I can only look at mine and project them onto you. And, when it's like, when you say, well, but I need, 30% more than that. It's like, well, dude, what have you done with your life that causes you? Like, that's the first thought, the frustration, right? But when you show me the list of what you're spending, it's like, oh, yeah, well, I know all of these things about Shannon. And so, of course, you need that money. Like, you know what I mean? It made it way easier.
I get it.
Yeah.
I've never done this exercise.
Same. This was a first for Dave.
This really is blowing my mind.
I know.
I have to really...
I did a version of this, Shannon, 20 years ago when we started Deals on the Web. We didn't go fully deep. But we did share some of the, well, look, I need this business to pay for this part of my life. And it was like, okay, great. But once we knew that, it was super easy. It was like, great, okay, fine, we'll balance it out.
Man. I would love to hear from listeners. If you've ever done this with your partners or whatever, investors, I'd love to hear it. Feedback@businessbrain.show. Tell us if, it's still freaking me out a little bit.
I know.
But I get it. And I think I'm pretty empathetic, but I would be, you really would have to have a great partnership. And have that trusting relationship to not have somebody, hammering. Because I don't want anybody, the whole reason I'm an entrepreneur is I don't ever want to have anybody tell me I can't spend money or I just like, well, sure, I know what I can spend. And if I don't have enough, I'm going to go start another company to create enough.
Yes.
That's just the way I've lived my whole life.
Yes.
And so, that's cool.
It was a great. We've had I've been fortunate to have some fantastic partnerships and some awful ones, and both of them have been. I mean that I am fortunate to have had both. I might not feel that in the time, but but after the fact, it's like, nope, I learned something that was valuable. But this particular partnership is obviously one of the good ones.
That's cool, man. Good for you. Congratulations. That's really great.
Yeah. It was actually my idea. And as I'm saying it to my partners, I'm like, I'm going to have to participate too. I don't like this idea, but it really was to serve me. Like I said, in order so that I could not be so judgmental.
It's great.
It was the opposite of it's like all the things.
I love the concept of
crazy
opening the kimono. If you,
that's what it is.
This is just what it is. So
that's how it is. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. Thanks for coming inside the kimono with us, if you would. Feedback@businessbrain.show and businessbrain.show/review. We definitely want to hear from you in a variety of ways. We love it. And keep living that charmed life. We'll see you on Friday.
See ya.
And we're out.
Awesome. Good. That was great.
Yeah.
I'm still in shock from that comment, but
I know
it's something I really need to cogitate on and think about.
Well, you're not currently in a business partnership where that would matter. And it's one of those things where accepting that not everyone in the business has the same, starts out with the same financial means. That's fine.
Yes.
And you have
the same requirements, right?
And the same requirements.
If you have kids and I've got this,
correct.
And you got that. Oh,
correct.
I that's what I think it says. It's super valuable. Yeah. I want to think about the way I think you really should write up, do something and break it down because it's a really interesting concept that I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
And
fair.
And I see so many pitfalls in it, but I also see a lot of benefit. And I just think it's you're right. I should write this up. Yeah, you're totally right. It's a powerful lever. You should.
Yes.
Yeah, we know we're all in the content business now, right? We've had that show. And so I always share with people from day one, start capturing your thoughts, ideas, comments, even if you have no idea what you think you're going to do with them. So I just think that that's a really good topic to explore for yourself.
I did not. I didn't even think to list it as a topic for the show.
It's a good topic.
And yet, obviously, it sort of came up.
Yeah. Well, if you write up something that kind of steps the way you did it, that would be a good topic to delve into again. To give some, here's how you avoid issues. Here's how this, how that. Here's what I learned. That would be good.
Yep.
Hey, if you're one of the 338 people on the live stream right now, we're in between our episodes. Dave is getting our first episode ready for some post-production. We do stuff pretty quick, but we still have to do some audio processing and a few other things. But hang out with us, and we're going to record our Friday Eye episode, which is quickly becoming one of our most popular segments.
It sure is.
Yeah, and we talk about what AI we're using and other people are using to help their small businesses and help them live a charmed life. And I'm going to do this. Oh, okay, I see that. Perfect. Anytime.
Yep, I'm almost there.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Save.
Get it.
All set. Let's get this there. That's all set. That's
nice.
all
Awesome.
Set.
Correct.
I need to do the last thing.
Boy, trying to operate with just your laptop is challenging.
Do you carry a second screen with you?
Up at our river house, I have one. I have a whole setup, and this one I don't, and I should. I need to. That's the next.
Makes a huge difference. Yeah. And that's where we had somebody on Mac Geek Gab talking about getting a Vision Pro and a Mac Mini and not having a laptop with a screen, but just having the Vision Pro be their screen. And that way they traveled a bunch, and they're like, that way everywhere I go, I have the same screen. It's like,
I just have this. How heavy is that thing?
It's fairly well balanced.
Is it?
But,
okay.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I recommend going to an Apple store and doing the 30-minute demo. It's not. Almost certainly not going to convince you to buy one.
Yeah.
But it's good to be aware of what the tech is. Yeah.
Some form of spatial computing, I believe, is in our future. Some kind of thing. So, but I remember the first laptop that weighed 30 pounds. Or
correct.
Whatever.
The luggable.
So same kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Kind of
yeah. Hey, I want to check one thing.
Okay. Sounds good.
Audio. Okay, great. Alrighty. Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Here goes nothing. Business Brain, episode 659 for Casual Friday, June 20th, World Productivity Day 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we crunch through a bunch of ideas so that we can each tune our business brains to keep on living those charmed lives. Our sponsors include Eversight.com/BB, where you can go and sign up to get your own in-house web. It's like having your own in-house web team. These people have saved Shannon's bacon. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. And Shopify.com/BusinessBrain, where you can sign up for a $1 per month trial period. We'll talk about that too. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And I'm still Shannon Jean. I'm still up in Tahoe, as you can see by that blazing sun behind me, if you're watching the live stream. But glad to be here. Happy Friday, man.
It's Happy Friday. I found a thing on Threads, and it's from an account called Copy Prompts, which I like. And it says, I gave ChatGPT my salary, and it fixed my entire financial life. No budget apps, no spreadsheets, no finance degree, just one prompt and full transparency with my income. It didn't judge me. It built a system I could finally stick to. And so the prompt was, act like a financial planner. I make X amount per month. Create a zero-based monthly budget covering essentials, savings, and guilt-free spending. And then Based on my salary of X, how can I build a 3-month emergency fund in 6 months without sacrificing essentials? And here are my debts, listing them with interest rates. Create a repayment plan that prioritizes high interest debt but still lets me save. Design a simple automation plan using paycheck splitting. I want to automatically save for 3 categories: emergency fund and future. Cut hidden expenses, optimize my bills, design a paycheck ritual. They have all the prompts here.
That's cool.
In the thread, I only read obviously the first few, but there's 7 prompts that all kind of cascade together here. But what a brilliant thing. And of course, as I looked at this, I thought, all right, well, obviously you could do this for your own personal budget, but what if you took all your business finances and plugged it into ChatGPT the same way and had it analyze not just how to make ends meet from the business standpoint, but maybe it can start looking at things and saying, hey, questioning you. Why are you spending X amount on this every month? And you might have a good answer for it, right? But treat it like your CFO, right? And have it be ruthless with you, right? Right?
Yeah. I what if I uploaded my bank statement?
Yeah.
And it tore it apart.
Right.
Okay, here's your income. Here's this. Then I wouldn't need to tell it like, here's my, depending upon which account I uploaded, look, here's my bank statement for the last 90 days. Look at the income, look at expenses.
Yep.
Give me your analysis. Right. Tell me where I'm spending money that maybe I'm not aware of. Right.
I love this. I would have it start with this, with what you said. Okay. And then I would upload P&L from QuickBooks. Now, the P&L is based on all the same data that you've already shared with it. But the P&L is my decision as to how to categorize all those things. Maybe it can tell me, hey, buddy, you're doing this wrong. You should categorize this way, and you should balance these expenses, and your debt service should be X. And man.
And you could use the console, right, where you could work with it and instruct it. That
Canvas, I think they call it.
Yeah,
but
Canvas.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
yep.
I love this. I think this is a really interesting idea. Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna play around with that. Yeah,
same.
It's great because it is nice to be able to ask it. Stuff that's going on. I'll give you. I came back from St. Lucia, and I call it jungle rot, but I had some rash. I'm a plant guy. I love touching plants. I'm always like, what does that feel like? What is it? So I rubbed against the wrong thing in the jungle as I was hiking around and talking to banana growers and everything else. And so I took a picture, and I was like, well, I don't want to share this with anybody. I shared it with my Shannon GPT, if you will. And it was like, oh, it's not this. It couldn't tell me exactly what it was, but it says, it's likely not this, not this, not this. And it asked me questions about this. And it kind of narrowed it down to it's some sort of plant, reaction and what not to do. And I finally had to go get some prednisone to get it to go away.
I was just going to say that's you. But it identified what it wasn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was like, well, is it stress related? Is it psychosomatic stress related? Because I was gone and I was like, oh my God, my business is going crazy and I got 500 calls when I get back and I got this, that. So I was thinking maybe I'm just super stressed out, but it was, so it was helpful. So I like the idea of sharing your financials with it, information to get that feedback. I'm going to do some more of that and I'm going to report back here. If you've done it, and shared that stuff with it, let us know. Feedback at businessbrain.show. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have some more things, and I know you've got something for Friday AI here too.
I do.
The next thing that I want to do, as you know, is talk about our 2 sponsors. Because, well, have you ever been online shopping late at night, tea in hand, mint or throat coat naturally, ready to impulse buy your way into happiness, and then boom, the dreaded realization your wallet is not within reach. But then, like a purple beacon from the heavens, you see it, that glorious Shop Pay button. No wallet needed, no second guessing, just tap, pay, done. That magical purple button, that's our sponsor, Shopify. And it doesn't just make buying easy, it makes selling a dream. I use Shopify to sell merch for one of my other podcasts and businesses because it's just flawless. Templates that actually look good, marketing tools that work, and analytics that make you feel like a wizard of commerce. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US and probably 99% of my productivity when it comes to online sales. Candidly, if Shopify were a person, I'd invite them to Thanksgiving and give them the seat at the head of the table. So if you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/businessbrain. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/businessbrain. Again, shopify.com/businessbrain. And our thanks to Shopify for sponsoring this episode. And now let's talk about websites, because having a great one isn't optional anymore. It's like showing up to a pitch meeting wearing pants. Basic, expected, and crucial to being taken seriously. And that's where Eversight comes in. For just $3.99 a month, you get what feels like your own in-house web team without the soul-crushing upfront bill that usually comes with building a website. No $10,000 invoices. No, we'll get back to you next week delays. Just real humans answering emails and texts the same day, making your website work while you build your business. Need a fix? Boom, done. Want something updated? Already handled. They proactively manage hundreds of sites, so you don't have to live in WordPress purgatory praying your plugins don't rebel. And there are no long-term contracts, just solid, grown-up service that you can walk away from anytime, though you probably won't want to. So if you're ready to outsource the headaches and focus on living your charmed life, visit eversight.com/BB and see what real support looks like. Now, Shannon, Eversight isn't just a sponsor. They are a vendor because you are a customer, right?
Yeah, I had my previous website hacked, and the stuff that the hackers put up there was rather shocking. We can't share it here because we're a PG show. So I just kind of threw up this digital SOS, and Eversight just saved me. You know, they put up a splash page quick, just, rerouted everything, redirected links for like my subscriptions and all this kind of stuff. And it was so quick, and, they were just super helpful, and they've just remained on top of the game. I love it. I'm really happy with the switch. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, you can switch too, folks. Eversight.com/BB is where you can get started. And our thanks to Eversight for sponsoring this episode. You want to tell me you started telling me about this thing that you're using.
So I'm on, like maybe a lot of us, I'm on my Mac or my computer most of the day. I'm on calls, I'm doing things, recording, all this kind of stuff. So I was on a group call that I facilitate of entrepreneurs, and somebody mentioned this AI called Granola, and you can find it at granola.ai. Okay. And it's basically, here they call it an AI notepad for people in back-to-back meetings, which is kind of the
they know how to write a sales pitch. That's for sure.
That. And what I like about it, it's very lightweight. And what I mean by that is I don't really know it's there until I want to look back on a call I had, or on a conversation I jumped on, something online, have a quick meeting, and it pulls data from everything, whether it's Zoom, Google Meet, really? Teams, all that kind of stuff. If I'm jumping on a call, it's great.
It's watching your screen and listening to the audio. Is that right? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then it comes up and gives you right after the call's done, it comes up and gives you a synopsis where you can ask it questions. Okay, hey, what did we talk about here? How do we do this? And I just find it really helpful. It doesn't go in as in depth, but I found, but I like that. I don't need a full transcript of everything on. Like on this call I had this morning, it gave the backgrounds of the participants, connection and interest points, discussion of recent opportunities, strategic advice shared, and then next steps. And it was all broken down into these things. It's really nice. So check it out, granola.ai.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Are you a paying customer yet, or
no,
are you
I
still
just
part
found
of
it Thursday. Somebody recommended it in a group, and we were after we analyzed on the call whether how good is quote good is it, but to me it's that again, that lightweight part of it where I don't really notice it is really handy. And I found myself jumping back to analyze it after I'd been on something that I didn't think to record or something like that. It worked out really good.
Huh.
I would check it out.
I like that. Okay.
AI.
Yeah, and it looks like you get 25 meetings free. So that's certainly cool. Enough to like evaluate it. Like, I love
check
that.
It out. See if it's for you and see how accurate it might be. But for me, saving transcripts, analyzing them, like I want to become a better closer, right? That's something that I've always struggled with, and because I'm just too damn nice, or what, according to my coach. And so I uploaded over 100 transcripts of meetings to my ChatGPT, and I'm just like, tell me, what am I doing? And this thing, to give me the pros, give me the things I need to improve on. It's just super helpful to capture that data, man. Capture as much of your data as you can, because we're all in the content business, as we've said.
For sure.
But you could use it in different ways to where, I could equally ask the AI to create content based on these meetings that would anonymize things and, hey, what advice am I giving over and over? Help me create a one-page. What should I do
for course number 2 or something?
Or help me create a one-page PDF when people say, well, why should I get on a call with you? Oh, here's why. Create some images around this concepts that I share. What advice am I giving that is getting the most positive reactions, right? And which types of calls are lasting longer? Because I find that there's a saying, we're going to make a baseball analogy here. When they do the replay, when they're challenging the call, the announcers will say, hey, the longer it takes to review, the more likely they're going to turn it over. I think I got that right. Yeah. And in my case, the longer my discovery calls go, the more likely that person's going to hire me.
That makes sense. Sure.
Because we go beyond the allocated 15-minute discovery call where we connect on another level. And so I've asked my AI to tell me what's different about those calls. What's different about that client? What is their background? Because I'm still trying to develop.
Yeah, it might not be you necessarily, right?
Yeah, that's right. And what type of client should I maybe prepare more for on the call so I can work on my conversions a little bit more? That kind of thing. So any of this stuff like this granola AI that captures my data that I can analyze and it can advise me back, boom, that's a winner. And I highly recommend you do it.
I agree. I want more of this in my life. Yeah, for sure. And I know we keep saying this in a variety of different ways
it's okay.
over time.
We're going to keep saying it. That's why you're here.
But that's and I know that there are privacy concerns with this, valid ones.
Sure.
But we need to figure that out because
it's so valuable.
AI is so good. One of the things it is extremely good at is taking a lot of data and and summarizing it, distilling it down. It's also good at taking lots of differently formatted data and synthesizing it all together and then summarizing, right? That's also good. But even this, just being able to before we called it AI, if we rewound 3.5 years, we called this machine learning.
That's right.
And if we rewound, 5 years before that, we called it pattern matching. That's what's happening here, right? Is it's looking at a set of data and finding the patterns that are happening there. And then that's how it knows, when you tell it, hey, write me an email that tries to convince the IRS to refund me whatever. It's looking at lots of emails that have been written to the IRS and finding patterns.
That's right.
So it's all about, and if you know that, which now you do, you realize, okay, well, wait, if I can show it my life and it can find the patterns that led to success, the patterns that led to failure, the patterns that led to unexpected outcomes, all of that stuff gets really valuable.
Yeah, it really helps fine tune and focus you on what you should be paying attention to based on what you're trying to achieve.
Yes.
And using it that way it's been a game changer for me.
And you know, I'll play devil's advocate to my own privacy comment before. This is what's been going on with like targeting of ads and such
forever.
Over the years. They've been using the data they have about each of us.
That's right.
To find patterns, and then they look at the data from all of us and say, okay, well, if a person has been interested in these kinds of things, then eventually within the next 2 weeks, they're going to be interested in this new kind of thing. And that's when they start to target with this stuff. When people say, oh, the devices in my house are listening, that's generally probably not the case. I don't want to say it's definitely not. But more often than not, it's that Amazon knows based on your purchase history that the next thing you're going to want to buy is this. And like for years, what they've been doing is putting things in the warehouse near you that they know you are likely to buy soon. And that's how they can do 1 and 2 and even same day delivery. So people are using this information about each of us to their benefit. We might as well use it for our benefit too.
It was never accessible to us before.
Correct.
And now it is.
Yes.
And so I agree with you. And and anonymize stuff if you want, whatever. So I think it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
But I love it. And so if you have things you're experimenting with, how you're using it, things you're building with AI, let us know. Feedback@businessbrain.show. We'd love to feature it on the show. If you're in the business of doing this for your clients or helping people figure this out, let us know. Reach out. We'd love to talk about it.
Absolutely. Like he said, feedback@businessbrain.show. We love hearing from you. And businessbrain.show/review. We'll read your reviews on the air, and then you get entered into that drawing. Have a great one, folks. Keep living that charmed life. See you next week. All right. We're out.
Awesome
stuff. Fun.
Thanks for joining us on the live stream, folks. I'm going to end it now as I'm going to jump into the next thing, but it's great hanging out with you today. See you later. We'll see you next week. Both these episodes, one will be out on Wednesday and next will be on Friday if you want to listen to them again. Take care.